I'm old Sneelock. Now we get down to the critical parts, actual measuring something. Up until now, I've just been pretty much whatever size the wood ends up, that's the size it is. Now I have to cut some things to length. But not exactly. All I need to know is roughly how long it needs to be so that I can add about 3 inches onto that. Because I'm going to make a top and a bottom out of this same board, and I need to be able to get a top and a bottom out of it. But it's not fussy. It's going to be about that long. Knowing that it's going to be about that long, I can cut these nail holes out of the board and have enough to make the top and the bottom. Now the top has to be a little thicker because I want to cut a groove in it. Well, not really a groove, I want to cut a rebate. That's going to ride in the groove because the top is going to slide.
Due to the difference in the depth between the groove at the top and the rebate at the bottom, the top has to be 3/8 of an inch narrower than the bottom.
Now with the 44, I want to cut just enough off the edge that'll fit into that groove. That'll allow the top to track along and slide in the sides. And rather than practice on a piece that I might need later, I'm going to adjust my clamps to hold down this sacrificial piece. Gotta go just a little bit deeper. One of the advantages of a 45 is it has a whole lot of adjustments on it. And the adjustments are actually fairly easy to do. I can set the depth by using this screw to just adjust it a little bit. On the other hand, the 44 just allows you to loosen this set screw and then move this shoe up just a little bit and then tighten it back up. No screw adjusters on it, just pretty much eyeball. When I'm working with a small rebate, the 44 has a small pocket in the fence that allows the chips to escape. But with the depth stop set so close and the fence set so tightly, the pocket fills up pretty quick. Pretty soon it jams up with shavings. And with pine, that's not a problem. The shavings are kind of fine and easy to work with. With the oak, they're gonna knot up in there like the dickens. I think I got my setting. Now it just comes to the part of no turning back. Once I cut this thing, that's it. I let those build up too much, they're not going to come out of there. And that's going to work pretty good. If I'm not careful, I can end up with chips underneath the shoe here, and that will give me a false depth setting. When I normally know that this thing reached the point where it's cutting the full depth, it stops cutting. But if it's riding on a chip, then that's going to tell me that it's stopped cutting long before I've actually reached the depth that I want it to. And the way that works best for me when I'm using this plane is I start cutting on this end and I'm going to cut until I reach pretty close to the bottom depth, and then I'm going to move back. Each time adding, a few inches on. Sometimes on a longer board I might go as much as a foot. I'm not trying to run the full length of the thing, I'm just chunking it down in bits. So that when I get down here to the end, I've taken most of the material off. Then I go along and make one long smooth cut. But along the way, I'm checking to make sure I got that depth stop clear. And I'm getting a good clean cut. And everything's working just the way I want it to. And that last pass shouldn't have any shaving at all. That tells me I'm done. Depth stop's clear, fits in the groove, slides back and forth. I think that's gonna work. Now I flip around and go to the other side. Since I know the first side worked well, I don't have to spend quite so much time checking on this one. Still have to make sure I got my chips clear. Now, I haven't done that in a long time, but you really want to make sure that your depth stop thumb screw is tight. If it's not, when you're pushing down on it, you can actually make that crawl up inside there just a little bit, and that'll mess you up. Everything else now is measured off of this. This sets the width of the box, and when I cut this to length, that's going to set the length of the box. That's going to be the permanent fix. If you have any suggestions for a new video, questions about today's video, or any of the other videos on the channel, just drop a note in the comments below. You know I read them all. Thanks for watching.